I am a doctor, and there is something I have watched patients do for years that keeps me up at night. You open your refrigerator, you see last night's containers, you feel good about not wasting food, you press a button on your microwave, and inside that container, something has already started that is directly linked to one of the most aggressive cancers medicine has ever seen. Pancreatic cancer, 12% survival rate at 5 years. No early warning signs, no pain, no swelling, nothing until it has usually already spread. Your pancreas sits deep behind your stomach. It makes enzymes that break down everything you eat. It makes insulin that controls your blood sugar, and it has almost no ability to tell you when something is going wrong. By the time you feel anything, the disease has been building for years. I am not telling you this to scare you. I am telling you because unlike most cancer risks, these are ones you can actually control, starting tonight. With your next meal. Over the next 20 minutes, I am going to walk you through exactly what happens inside 5 specific foods the second time heat touches them, and most importantly, exactly what to do instead. Let us start with the first one. It is sitting in your refrigerator right now. Leftover French fries, fried chicken, spring rolls, onion rings, anything that came out of hot oil the first time and is about to go back into heat the second time. You probably know fried food is not healthy. That is not the news. The news is what happens when you heat that oil a second time. Every cooking oil is made of molecules called triglycerides. When you heat oil for the first time, those molecules start to break down. That is normal. But when you cook food in oil, tiny burned food particles fall off into that oil. Those particles act as catalysts that speed up oxidation dramatically. So the oil you used last night is already partially broken down. Then you refrigerate it. The next day, you apply heat again. A second round of heat on already damaged oil causes deep oxidative breakdown. The molecules break apart completely and form short-chain aldehydes. These aldehydes are small enough to pass directly through your gut lining into your bloodstream. Your pancreas gets a massive amount of blood flow. So these aldehydes arrive at your pancreas fast and in high concentration. Once inside your pancreatic cells, they trigger endoplasmic reticulum stress. That is a fancy way of saying they jam the machinery that keeps your cells alive. The cells try to fix themselves, they fail, they try again, they fail again. Eventually some stop trying and start multiplying the wrong way. That is the beginning of cancer, and you would never feel it. Here is exactly what you need to do. Never reheat fried food in any kind of added oil. No fresh oil, not a tablespoon, not a spray, zero. Instead, use a dry oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Place the fried food on a wire rack. Heat for 5 to 10 minutes. No new oil means no new aldehydes. An air fryer works the same way. Just do not add oil spray. Second rule. Any oil you use for frying is single-use only. Fry today, throw it away today. Do not strain it and save it. Do not pour it back into the bottle. Every time you reuse frying oil, the aldehyde concentration increases exponentially. The second fry is not twice as bad. It can be 5 or 10 times worse. Third rule. If you cannot follow the first 2 rules, eat your fried leftovers cold. Cold fried chicken is fine. Cold French fries will not damage your pancreas the way reheated ones will. One more thing. If you ever feel a dull heaviness in your upper abdomen after eating reheated fried food, that is not poor digestion. That is your pancreas responding. Listen to it. Now let me tell you about the second food. This one is going to surprise you. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, arugula, every superfoods list. Every nutrition expert, all of them. You cook a beautiful pan of sautéed spinach on Sunday. You feel good about yourself. You are being healthy. You put the leftovers in the fridge. Monday lunch, you microwave it for 90 seconds. It looks the same, tastes the same. And while you are eating it, that second round of heat just triggered a chemical reaction that the World Health Organization has linked to cancer risk. Here's what is happening. Leafy greens naturally contain nitrates. Nitrates are harmless. Your body actually uses them to make nitric oxide, which helps your blood vessels relax. The problem starts after you cook the greens and let them sit. Bacteria on the surface of the greens convert those harmless nitrates into nitrites. This takes time, a few hours, overnight. By the next day, a percentage of the nitrates have turned into nitrites. Then you reheat them. Heat, in the presence of amino acids, which greens are full of, converts those nitrites into nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are genotoxic. That means they go directly inside the nucleus of your cells and physically damage your DNA. One serving of reheated greens will not kill you, But doing this twice a week for 10 years means you are creating more DNA damage than your repair systems can handle. The unrepaired damage accumulates. A break in the wrong place can knock out a tumor suppressor gene. That is how cancer begins. Your pancreas is especially vulnerable because nitrosamines are fat-soluble. Your pancreas is surrounded by and contains significant amounts of fatty tissue. Nitrosamines get stored there. They hang around for days or weeks. They keep causing damage long after you have finished eating. Here's the fix. Eat your cooked greens cold. That is it. Cold spinach in a grain bowl. Cold kale in a salad. No second heat means no nitrosamines. If you absolutely need your greens warm, cook only what you are eating right now. Do not make a batch for the week. A 5-minute sauté is not that hard. Compare that to the risk of pancreatic cancer. If you do have leftover cooked greens and you must reheat them once only. Each additional heating cycle multiplies the nitrosamine formation. The second reheat is not twice as bad. It can be 4 or 5 times worse. And never reheat greens in a microwave. The uneven heating creates hot spots that spike nitrosamine formation unpredictably. Use a stovetop on low heat with a splash of water. But cold is always better. The third food might be the most dangerous one on this list, not because of chemicals, because of something living. Something that is on almost every grain of rice, in every supermarket, in every country, and something your microwave cannot kill. Think about the pot of rice you made a few days ago. You made a large batch because it is easier. You have been reheating portions every day. This is normal. Every household does this. And from the moment that rice stopped cooking, a biological process has been unfolding that most people have never been warned about. There is a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. It is everywhere. In soil, on plants, on raw rice. When conditions are good, it grows like any other bacteria. But when conditions are bad, it forms a spore. A spore is a hardened survival structure. Boiling water cannot destroy it. Normal cooking temperatures cannot touch it. You cook your rice. The boiling water kills the active bacteria. But the spores survive. They sit there, dormant in your perfectly cooked rice, waiting. What are they waiting for? The temperature to drop. When rice cools to room temperature, those spores wake up. They turn back into active bacteria, and they start multiplying. As they multiply, they produce toxins. One of those toxins is heat stable. When you microwave that rice the next day, you kill the live bacteria, but the toxin survives. It enters your body in full working order. Here is what almost everyone gets wrong. Most people who eat reheated rice never get dramatic food poisoning. They do not throw up. They do not have violent diarrhea, so they assume nothing happened. What is actually happening is low-grade, subclinical exposure. Not enough to make you sick, just enough to keep your gut in a constant state of low-level inflammation. Your gut and your pancreas are connected through something called the gut-pancreas axis. They share blood supply, they share lymphatic drainage, they share inflammatory signals. When your gut is chronically inflamed, those inflammatory signals travel directly to your pancreas. Chronic inflammation damages pancreatic cells. It creates an environment where cancerous cells are more likely to form. Here is your exact protocol for rice safety. 1. Cool your cooked rice within 1 hour of cooking. Do not leave it in the pot. Spread it thin on a baking sheet. More surface area means faster cooling. Faster cooling means less time for spores to germinate. 2. Refrigerate it immediately after it stops steaming. 3. Eat your rice within 24 hours. Not 48, not 72, 24 hours. After 1 day, toxin levels become significant. 4. When you reheat rice, reheat it to steaming hot throughout, not warm, steaming, at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Use a thermometer. 5. Reheat rice only once. Never put reheated rice back in the fridge. If you take it out, heat it, and do not finish it, throw it away. Do not trust your senses. Bacillus cereus toxins have no smell, no taste, no visible effect. You cannot tell by looking. You can only follow the rules. The fourth food is one that nearly every family eats multiple times a week: chicken. And the danger here is not chemicals. It is not toxins. It is something much simpler. You made roasted chicken thighs last night. You put the leftovers in the fridge. Today at lunch, you put 2 pieces on a plate, microwave them for 2 minutes, touch the outside, it feels hot, and you eat. This is completely normal. And the way that reheating happened is exactly where the danger lives. A microwave does not heat food evenly. It excites water molecules. Different parts of the same piece of chicken have different water content. The outside is drier, the inside is wetter. Thick parts have more water, thin parts have less. Areas near bone have different density. Because of these variations, some parts of the chicken reach temperatures that kill bacteria. Other parts, sometimes just centimeters away, stay at exactly the temperature where bacteria not only survive but actively multiply. These are called cold spots. You cannot see them. You cannot feel them from the outside. The outside can be scorching hot, while the center is sitting at a perfect bacterial incubator temperature. Two bacteria make this terrifying with chicken: Salmonella and Campylobacter. Proper initial cooking kills them, but after cooking, recontamination is possible. Your hands, your counter, the knife, the container, any of these can introduce new bacteria. Now you microwave the chicken. The cold spots are warm, moist, protein-rich environments, perfect incubators. If any bacteria are present, they multiply rapidly. A full salmonella infection is a systemic event. High fever, violent cramping, vomiting, diarrhea. Your entire immune system mobilized. And while that war is happening in your gut, your pancreas gets pulled into the inflammation. In severe cases, salmonella can infect the pancreas directly, but the real problem is repeated low-dose exposures. Not enough to knock you down, just enough to keep your gut chronically inflamed. Those exposures accumulate over years. Each one damages your pancreatic tissue a little bit. The damage adds up. Here is the safest way to reheat chicken. Use an oven, preheat to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Place the chicken in a dish, add a few tablespoons of water, cover tightly with foil. The trapped steam heats evenly. Heat for 15 to 20 minutes. Check the internal temperature in the thickest part. It needs to reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Use a thermometer. Do not guess. If you must use a microwave, cut the chicken into small, uniform pieces. No piece thicker than 1 inch. Arrange in a single layer. Use medium power. Heat for 1 minute. Stop. Stir and rearrange every piece. Heat for another minute. Stop. Stir again. Heat in 30-second increments until steaming throughout. Then let it rest, covered, for 2 minutes. The safest option is to eat leftover chicken cold. Cold chicken on a salad. Cold chicken in a wrap. No reheating means no cold spots, means no bacterial risk. If you ever notice any off smell, sliminess, or unusual color, throw it away immediately. Do not taste it. Some bacterial toxins are heat stable. Reheating will not make it safe. Now the fifth and final food. Potatoes. This one is unique because it carries two completely separate chemical dangers happening at the same time. Two different attacks on your pancreas from a single bowl of leftovers. You roasted potatoes on Sunday? Perfect. Golden? Crispy? You made a whole tray. Monday evening, you toss them in a pan with oil to crisp them back up. You feel resourceful. And inside those potatoes, two independent chemical processes are attacking your pancreas simultaneously. The first attack is acrylamide. Acrylamide forms when starchy foods are heated above 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Potatoes are full of starch and an amino acid called asparagine. When you heat them, they react to form acrylamide. That golden brown color, that is the Maillard reaction. It is also where acrylamide comes from. Here is what makes reheated potatoes more dangerous. When a potato is cooked once and refrigerated, its surface dries out. Sugars and amino acids concentrate at that dry surface. When you apply high heat a second time, the conditions for acrylamide formation are more favorable than the first time. Studies show reheating already cooked potatoes can increase acrylamide levels by 50 to 80%. Acrylamide is a genotoxin. It damages DNA. It has been specifically linked to pancreatic cancer. One study followed over 100,000 people for 11 years and found that higher acrylamide intake was associated with a 50 to 60% increased risk of pancreatic cancer. The second attack exhausts your pancreas in a different way. When potatoes are cooked and then cooled completely, part of the regular starch converts into resistant starch. Resistant starch resists digestion. It travels to your large intestine where gut bacteria ferment it. This moderates your blood sugar. It slows glucose absorption. A cold-cooked potato is metabolically completely different from a hot one. The moment you reheat that potato, the resistant starch converts back into regular, rapidly digested starch. The beneficial transformation is destroyed. What was gentle on your blood sugar is now a rapid spike. Your pancreas responds by releasing a large amount of insulin quickly. Once is fine. That is what your pancreas is designed to do. But 3 or 4 times a week for years, those beta cells get driven into repeated emergency production. They become exhausted. They become less responsive. They start to degrade and die. This leads to insulin resistance and eventually to diabetes. Insulin resistance and diabetes are major risk factors for pancreatic cancer. The link is so strong that new-onset diabetes in an older adult is considered a potential early sign of pancreatic cancer. So reheated potatoes give you direct DNA damage from acrylamide and metabolic stress from blood sugar spikes at the same time. Two separate attacks from one bowl of leftovers. Here is your protocol. The best option is to eat your cooked potatoes cold. Cold potato salad with olive oil and vinegar, cold roasted potatoes chopped into a lunch bowl, all the resistant starch, no new acrylamide. Your pancreatic beta cells get a slow, steady glucose release instead of a spike. If you must have them warm, steam them. Place them in a steamer basket over boiling water. Steam for 2 to 3 minutes until warmed through but not hot. Steam is lower temperature than dry heat and will not generate significant new acrylamide. The second safest method is a microwave on low power, 50% power, 30-second increments until just warm to the touch. Stop before they start steaming. Here is what you must never do. Never refry an already cooked potato. Never put them back in a hot oven to re-crisp. Never pan-fry them with oil. Those high-heat methods maximize both acrylamide formation and resistant starch conversion. A fresh potato fried once is completely different from a cooked potato fried twice. If you are already diabetic or pre-diabetic, these recommendations are not optional. Your pancreas is already under stress. Reheated potatoes add significant additional stress. Eat them cold, every time, no exceptions. We have covered a lot. Let me give you the summary. Fried food, eat it cold. If you must reheat, use a dry oven with no oil. Never reuse frying oil. Leafy greens, eat them cold. If you must reheat, cook only what you need fresh. Never reheat greens more than once. Rice, cool within 1 hour. Refrigerate immediately. Eat within 24 hours. Reheat once to steaming hot. Never reheat the same rice twice. Chicken, oven reheat with foil and added moisture to 165 degrees, or eat it cold. If you use a microwave, cut small, stir repeatedly, rest covered. Potatoes, eat them cold. If you must reheat, steam gently or microwave on low just to warm. Never refry. I am not telling you this to scare you. Fear paralyzes. I am telling you because unlike most cancer risks, these are ones you can actually control. Tonight, with your next meal. Your pancreas has been working for you in silence every single day of your life. It has never asked for anything in return. Start giving it something back. If you know someone who reheats rice every day, send them this video. If you know someone who microwaves chicken without thinking, send them this video. If you know someone who has never heard any of this, send them this video. That might be the most important thing you do today. Take care of yourselves.